Okay, so for today, we're going to finish up with Module 3, Lesson 1, which is studying commutativity to find known facts of 6, 7, 8, and 9. The materials you need for today are your online whiteboard or your whiteboard dry erase marker and dry eraser. And we're once again going to follow the teaching style where I do it, we do it, and then you do it on your own. What we're doing today is going to look pretty similar to what we did yesterday. Okay, but we're going to keep up with that practice because commutativity will really help us in the future when we're doing our multiplication facts. So here I have an example that's 3 times 6, and then I switched it to get 6 times 3. Okay, and what we want to prove is that both answers are the same. So I'm starting out with a model that looks a little bit different from yesterday. Okay, you can see that my first one has 3 groups. And each group is going to have 6. Okay, so this part you can just watch. So my first group has 6. This group will have 6 more. And this group will have 6 more. So the question mark down here is wondering how much altogether. Okay, so we're going to skip count by 6s. 6, 12, and remember if you forget how to count by 6s because we're still learning, you can hold up 6 fingers. We ended at 12, so we'll keep counting. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 3 times 6 equals 18. Well, that must mean that 6 times 3 equals 18, so let's make sure that that's correct. Let's go ahead and prove that. We have our picture over here. Each of these groups we're going to have to count by 3s. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups, okay? 6 groups of 3. Let's go ahead and count by 3s. This you should be a little more familiar with because we've been practicing it since the beginning of the year. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. And we did end up with that same product or the same answer. So 3 times 6 equals 18, and if you switch it, 6 times 3 also equals 18. Okay, and if you remember from yesterday, the reason that this helps us the most is, as you can see, we haven't counted by 6s very often. Okay, that's what we're learning how to do right now, but we have counted by 3s a lot. So if you saw this equation right here that was 3 groups of 6, you would know that you don't have to count by 6s. Instead, you can choose to count by 3s 6 times, okay? And if you're better at counting by 3s, then that might be an easier problem for you to solve, okay? So that's what's great about the commutativity property, is you can pick whichever number you want to multiply by. Okay, so this is the example I want you to do with me. We have 4 times 9 and 9 times 4. Okay, so we took the two numbers and we switched them, and the answer should stay the same. So for this first one, we have 4 groups of 9, which means we need to skip count by 9s. So on your whiteboard, I want you to write down your skip count to fill in the rest of the blanks. Since we're asynchronous today, I'm just going to have you pause the video, write your answer, and then press play when you're ready to see if your answer matches mine. Okay, so you should have written your answer on the whiteboard. So let's see if your answers match mine. Now we're counting by 9s, which we might not be that great at yet because we're just learning how to do it. So I might still be using my fingers to help me skip count. So I'm at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. All right, so 4 times 9 equals 36. using the commutative property, we should be able to prove then that 9 times 4 equals 36. So now on your whiteboards, I want you to skip count by 4s 9 times. Once again, this is something we've practiced a little bit more, so you might find this one a little bit easier to skip count. If you don't need your fingers, you don't have to use them. You can just write down what you've memorized. If you do still need your fingers, that's totally okay. So go ahead, pause the video, figure out your answers, and then press play to match them with mine. Okay, so we're going to fill in our skip count by 4 and see if we can prove that 4 times 9 and 9 times 4 have the same answer. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. They do have the same answer. So 4 times 9 and 9 times 4 both equal 36. Okay, so we're going to move on now to the part where you're going to work on this alone. So you're going to continue practicing your multiplication facts. We have been doing the last 2 days, just 6, 7, 8, and 9. But now what we're going to do is practice multiplication facts up to 10. Okay, so this is going to have all the numbers we've learned how to multiply so far this year, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so for example, you might see a problem like this where you have to find the missing number. So it's 7 groups of blank equals 56. So we're going to have to count by 7s until we get to 56. So how that might look, okay, is I might use my whiteboard. Even though I'm doing IXL, it's still great to use your whiteboard to write your answers down and to figure them out before you start putting it in on the computer, okay? So 7. Now, we might not be that great at counting by 7s, might still have to use your fingers. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 21. 28. And I am counting in my head so that you can be thinking or counting out loud to help yourself. Okay, so we're at 28. 35. 42. 49. 56. Okay, so we counted by 7s till we got to 56, but we don't have our answer yet. The way we find our answer is figuring out how many times did we have to skip count. Okay, how many groups of 7 do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we had to skip count by 7s 8 times, which means 7 times 8 equals 56. Okay? All right, go ahead and begin.